call the meeting. Thank everybody who's here, our Commerce Committee members for joining always
Mr.
for our
Bakardine, you're cutting
February.
out a lot. It's very
Yeah.
difficult for us to hear you.
Am I?
You sounded choppy.
Boy, okay. It might be.
Yeah, it's very bad.
It might be my. It might be my headphones. So I'll take it off.
If you're talking, we can't hear you. If you're talking, we can't hear you, Hassan.
I don't see his microphone. I guess it's oh, there it is. Hassan, you're on mute.
He's not hearing.
Hassan, you're on mute.
Show yourself on mute. Hello.
Hello.
Sad echo.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to fix that. Okay, give me a second. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I could hear you, but you're showing up twice.
Yeah, that's okay because I had to go. I had to actually go on my phone. So my apologies. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I tell you, I think my committee knows that I can't really stand WebEx. We have these crazy things happen every month. It's just nuts. It's really nuts. So thank you so much for certainly bearing with me while we sort of go through these these changes. Yes.
I think you have something that's on. If you have it open somewhere else, you might have to close it because you're echoing.
Yeah. Am I echoing still now?
No, you're perfect. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I closed whatever I had. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And guys, and thank you again for going through, and committee members, thank you again for going through this exercise. We go through this every month, so sorry. But this is what happens, with technical difficulties. So again, I want to welcome you guys to our Commerce Committee meeting for February 18th as well. And I sort of did the roll call, but I did not capture Khadija, who just jumped on, I believe. And so Khadija, if you don't mind, certainly unmute Marguerite as well, and Vanetta.
Present, Khadijah.
Okay, Khadija.
Present, Vanessa Sylvester.
All right.
Present,
Thank you.
Marguerite.
Hey, all right, awesome.
Hi, this is Fatima. I wasn't I just joined as well.
Okay, Fatima. Okay,
I'm
great,
present as
great.
well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. I think I got everybody else. I think I mentioned everybody else earlier. So we're going to get right to it. I have to give you guys. So that was our. So Farah, just as an FYI, that was our unofficial roll call. Just to let you know, I just want to make sure we got everything. And I wanted to mention I want to do my chairperson's report because I think it is pretty important. We got a lot of things going on in commerce. Committee members, I know you get tons of emails from me sometimes, and I apologize, but there's just so many things that have to get done, and I want to make sure that if our committee, we want to make sure that our committee knows what's happening as well as our subcommittee, and we also met, and we'll talk a little bit about that also. So let me just get started. We had a small business walkthrough, a business corridor walkthrough on Avenue D. Avenue D from Albany Avenue up to East 53rd. And the person who attended that walkthrough was Councilmember Lewis, the Brooklyn Chamber, both Jonathan and Mark, who were from the Brooklyn Chamber, who attended, as well as Cheryl. Cheryl was, I don't think she's on the call now, but she also attended from the committee, and which is great. And I appreciated her sort of being there. But what we did was we went through. I'm sorry. Can you guys hold on? Wasn't one quick second? Okay, hold on.
Good evening.
He stepped away for a second, but he'll be back.
Thank you. I was trying to set up my speaker.
don't hear anybody on this.
I think Hassan is trying to get, he has issues with his WebEx. So everybody's waiting on him.
Can you guys hear me?
Now I can, yes.
You weren't hearing me at all when I was speaking?
No, you were on mute.
Wow. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, you know what I talked about. Okay, so I will. I'll try to make sure so everybody can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, my apologies. I was talking for a while, guys. So, all right. So, I just to let you know, I'll try to make this very brief and very short because I did go through a lot. I just did a recap of our walkthrough on February 4th on Avenue D and on Avenue G from Albany to East 52nd, which went very well. We talked to a lot of business owners. I will give the subcommittee sort of a recap on that, and I'll send it out to the full committee as well, what some of the findings are, the top challenges that they have. We had a business walkthrough today, business corridor walkthrough today, where we started at Sweet Sunday Cafe on Nostrand Avenue and went from Nostrand in Beverly all the way down to Newkirk as well. So that was really great because we were able to talk to the business owners who were there, and it was really productive. I think we got a lot more out of it, but we ended up running into some issues with translation because there were some business owners who spoke only Creole, and but we were joined by Stephanie from Little Haiti BK, and she was able to translate the Creole. So that helped us out a lot as well. And thank goodness she was sort of there because I would have been helpless on that. We have a small business walkthrough scheduled for February 25th on Church Avenue from Utica to Schenectady Avenue. Okay. And we have a Black History celebration or business walkthrough that is being organized by Councilmember Farrah Lewis, along with Commissioner Dinichelle Gross, who actually came before our committee, along with Randy Pierce from the Brooklyn Chamber. He also came before our committee as well. You guys remember that. And we're going to be, certainly going through, and I'll make the invitation out to any subcommittee members or any Commerce Committee members who would like to attend. We're going to be doing this walkthrough on February 28th. And it'll be from 12, I believe 12. We have both of them from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. So we're going to be hitting 5 different locations: Bamboo Walk, Lily's Restaurant, Spices and Slices. I think that's what you say. We're going to be doing one of the St. Joseph's Barbershop, and one other location. I thought it was a radio station, but I'm not sure. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. And lastly, I promise you I'll end here. I was talking about our business networking breakfast. Where we are in the mix is that we have asked and sent out letters to both Bamboo Walk and Footprints Restaurant to donate breakfast for the event. The tentative event, which is supposed to be on March 26th at SUNY Downstate. And when I use the term tentative, it's only because we're waiting for the final confirmation from SUNY Downstate to on the date. Okay, and the reason why there was a delay is that they have to do there's a committee process. It's not just one person and they make the decision. Otherwise, we would have had that date in place. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Okay, I'll end there and ask if there are any questions on any of that stuff. No? Okay, fantastic. Good. I just want to make sure. Great. So I'll move on. I also just want to, and I believe, yeah, I'll end there. I'll end there because that's a lot, and so I don't want to give you guys too much. You're overwhelmed. All right. So is everybody okay? You guys all right?
Oh,
All
yes.
right. Good. Good. Okay. So our next item up is the approval of our meeting minutes. I'm not sure if we have quorum yet. Farah, can you tell if we have quorum?
We currently do not have quorum.
I didn't think we
We-
did. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
So we
probably have
can't.
to wait later tonight or maybe next month.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So we'll move on. I was looking. I can't really tell so much from my phone because it's a little weird. But okay, great. So we'll move on now. So we'll table the approval of our meeting minutes for January 2015. Sorry, January 2025. Pardon me. Certainly, if committee members, if you have not read the minutes, please read the minutes. Okay. And be prepared to vote on it for our meeting in March. Okay. Great. So now we have, I have to say, really also a point of clarity for those who have received our agenda as well. On there, we had there was an item on there for the cannabis dispensary license for Legacy Lifestyle LLC. There was a little bit of an error there, which was fixed. So they will not be appearing before us tonight because they were at our Commerce Committee meeting for January. So certainly they will, but what they will be at our meeting, the general board meeting tomorrow. Okay, so just wanted to mention that. But I believe the only business owner that we have on here is from Zaria. Yeah, Zaria on Ocean Avenue. We have Norma Watson. Norma, are you on?
Oh, yes, I'm on. How are you guys? Good.
Okay, great. Thank you so much
How
for
was
joining.
how was the walk? Was the walk successful?
Yes, it was very successful. Really was. It was great seeing you as
I'm the
well.
only one who give a little trouble, right?
No, you were fine. You were fine. You were great. No problem. No problem at all. I appreciate us running. It was interesting, and this is for just to give you for people who are in the meeting. As we were doing the walkthrough, we ended up meeting Norma outside. She was in an establishment in a business that we were coming into, and she just happened to be in there, I think, purchasing something. And
Yeah.
we were talking and realized that she actually was going to be before the committee tonight
Right?
for her liquor license renewal or whatever. So, but I'm glad we were able to talk, and she's at our meeting tonight. So,
Oh, yeah.
I will give you an opportunity, Norma. So, can you please, for clarity's sake, and certainly she's appearing before us. She has had a liquor license for wine, beer, cider, and she is looking to renew her license. And so, Miss Norma Watson, can you just go ahead and tell us a little about your business for those who may not be familiar with you, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, yes. Good night to everyone.
Good night.
Well, I have that little business going on. My eyes were open today because I didn't know that I could be a member of so much things today. Because you know what, I
Yes,
work
ma'am.
also. I used to work in Brookdale, so I wasn't there most of the time for the activity. But I remember I get caught up with somebody rent my space. I think it was 2017 or 2016. They did not have a license and they were selling liquor.
Yeah, that's right.
So
That
I
happens.
get in a conclusion right there with the cops. So I was at
Yeah.
work, and when they called me, I leave work and I go straight there after work, 11 o'clock, and I was with a supervisor, and he was like, "Miss for the community with that, Miss Watson. Oh my God, you were at work." I said, "I said you work in the hospital." He said, "And you're a nurse." He said, "And you have your own little business." I said, "Yes, but I talk to them and I tell them not to do that, not to sell." He said, "Whether they sell or they don't sell, they shouldn't come through the door with it." And I started to say, "Oh my God, is that true?" And he
Yeah.
said, "Yes." And he said, "Take it from me. You have to get a liquor license." And he was
Of course.
so generous to me that I'm telling you, that is why I tell people, when you have a good relationship and you know how to talk to people, it
Yes,
was
ma'am.
like he becomes like my brother.
Sure, absolutely. No, I
He
completely
said, "Are you
agree.
tired?" And he was able to talk me through what to do. And I went ahead. It took me a couple of months, but I did get through. You know, it
Yes.
cost me a little dollars, but God was there. He helped me through. And from then, I this is my like third time renewing it.
Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
So
tell us. So Miss Watson, tell us about your business
my
because
big,
committee would like to know. What type of business it is,
yeah.
the hours of operation. What
Yeah,
you're.
yeah, my business is like it mostly big off on the weekends. I really have an event space. I keep a lot of little baby showers, kids party, adult party, whatever, 50th, 60th, whatever you have, you are welcome. I am not extravagant with price because, you know, the neighbor that I serve and everybody, whatever you have, I always try to let them feel comfortable. So
Sure.
we've been doing it and we've been successful, but we've been kind of getting, in this type of the weather, we only have 1 and 2. In the summer, we might get a little busier and we have an outdoor space, an indoor space, so they can go back and forth. You know, and we service the community and we service all around. I mean, we service people from all over come,
Mhm.
but we do this on a scheduled basis where you would call me in, you would go online. Most time they call me in, or they have my business card. I print them pens. They have pens. They have things that's established. You know, they have in the hospital. They have in Kings County. We're at the
Sure.
maternity health. They have my flyers. They have my everything. So they would call me. You know, Miss Nama, we need a baby shower. Try myself to space them out sometimes Saturday, Sunday. In the week, I have repasses. Anyone you know want repasses, and I
Mhm.
charge them quite reasonable. My repass is always $5.99 because what I respect that, you know, this is a crucial time for
Sure.
everybody. So it's
Sure.
like a morning with everything. So that's my repass, just reasonable. So I'll get called from all over for repass. So if you know anyone, we are open for business and we welcome everyone. We don't turn our back. We don't discriminate. We love
Sure.
everybody and we try to treat everybody with respect and dignity. And that's what send the bucket through. That's
Oh
what
yeah.
help us.
Yes, ma'am.
Respect for each other, dignity, and we spread love. And if
Yes.
you come, we give you chairs and tables free. We give you serving spoon. I told you, do not carry any wire rack. And
Sure.
certain things that you need, we have them on spot. We have them right there. We rent, we decorate sometimes. If you
Sure.
want us to decorate, we have decoration downstairs. So
Sure.
you can always say, oh, I'm coming to Miss Nama to rent some chair cover, some tablecloth. It's all the works.
Mhm.
Anything you want for the parties downstairs. So that's we.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
one-stop shop.
Yes, gotcha, gotcha. Understood. So, and before I allow the committee to ask any additional questions, I just want to ask one question in terms of the capacity, the size. You know, how many people that your location? What's the number of people you could fit?
Okay, let me say this to you, and I want to be honest. When I
Yes.
did it, it was 75 people. But
Okay.
I want to be honest, we black people, we love to jam up.
Well, yeah, sometimes we
So,
do.
so
Yeah, we do.
sometimes, and then I open the back part and I
Mhm.
tile it up nicely.
Mhm.
And when you come outside, it's all tile. And then I have a big canopy, like 30 by 20
Mhm.
size. So I tile the whole place. So when you step outside, you step on the outdoor column, which is so busy in the summer 'cause everybody wants to be outside.
Sure.
So they have that
Understood.
addition that can maybe hold another 30 or 40, depends. And they generally put their food out there, you know,
Mhm.
that they can go in and out back and forth. So we
Sure.
have extra that can hold another 40. So we would say maybe 110, 120 when we covered up the two spaces. And if
Gotcha.
we have them standing, like, you know, some people, after they finish their party, eating, they break up the table and they're ready to dance, we hold
Mhm.
up to 100 because they know they're not sitting. There's no table
Sure.
and chair. So the
Sure.
spaces are all there. So we go out of the way sometimes. And we finish like, I don't want the community, I want people to sleep. So I always said I don't have a club.
Mhm. That's
I
right.
wanted to get out here by 2 o'clock, but help me God.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
have it hard because
Right.
when 2 o'clock come, they're still asking for another hour.
Of
They
course
just
they are. Of
ready.
course.
So
That's normal. That's normal.
I understand, but I want people to sleep and not, you know, to get
Yeah.
some rest. So
Yeah.
that about it.
It's important to be respectful to your neighbors. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, Ms. Watson. And I'll open it up to the committee. Committee members, do you have any questions for Ms. Watson? And she is the owner for Zaria at Nostrand Avenue. Any questions at all? George?
What is the area, Nostrand Avenue, and what
Yeah, it's at
intersection?
Yeah, the,
1770 Nostrand Avenue.
Yeah. We're close to 2 Subway now, a 44 bus stop in front of me. And guess what's so good? God opened a Seatown supermarket across the street. So if they run out of anything, it's right there. You might need some
There
more
you go.
juice. You might need
There you
water,
go.
anything. It's
There you
right
go.
across the street.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Thank
And
you.
we close to the 2 Subways. So if who don't want to drive or who don't want to have enough cash to take a Uber, You can jump on the number 2 and the number 5, and you're a bit Beverly. We are there, and right there at Nostrand and Newkirk. We are there.
Gotcha. And okay, great. And George, I see your hand is up. You have a question, sir?
No, that was my question, the location.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, Adele, you have a question. Adele? I guess maybe you don't have a question. Maybe it was from a hand from before. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the committee?
I just have one question. This is Fatima.
Hey, Fatima.
The question is, I know you mentioned that sometimes like you like to let the event end at 2, and sometimes they don't want to, I guess, leave at 2. Like, what is the procedure for when that happens? Like, do you extend them the time, or like how does that usually work?
Well, you know what's happened, to be honest, Supersede, I'm not there at night, but you know what happened? These people would call me up any time of night. I said, remember, we have security, and security have to go. So some of them will say, okay, Miss Watson, you want to charge more? I said, the security to stay another hour's time and a half. You know that. But security only get 5 hours, and my husband is there. So I said, listen, me, discuss it with my husband. He'll run off the price with you for the other hour. But listen, me, I do not charge him if it's half an hour. But if the people I said to them, okay, but security is gonna leave. That's where it is. Security is the part. Because when my husband will stay and the other guy, security want their money. So they're going to pay 175, 180 for another hour. And they will. If they have the party going, they will. But trust me, I don't really like to practice it. But sometimes you have to bend.
Okay.
Not all the
Great.
time, but sometimes you have to bend. There are
Great,
circumstances where some people come late. It's not my fault.
Yeah,
But
right,
maybe
exactly.
They cut the cake late, and the cake don't cut. Something with the cake all the time.
Right. No, I completely understand. Okay, well, great. I think Adele has a question.
Yes, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
It's in regard to the neighbors. You
Yes.
said that you would extend it an hour. What about the neighbors? You said they have to sleep.
That is my concern. That is my concern why I said 2 o'clock. But then, you know, beside me is mostly business. But then if I have tenant upstairs, I lower the music from like, I go up there myself sometime to listen. And I ask them, I call them sometime. They say, Miss Watson, we are good. We're not hearing anything because we are high up. So they have tenant over there. Pardon me. And it's not every night. Remember, it's not every night.
Well, do you have soundproofing?
I don't have soundproofing, and I am thinking about soundproofing hard. But listen, right now it's empty over here, so nobody up there.
Right.
Okay. What about the backyard space during the summer?
Space in the summer, it's good. But you know what? They were there last 2 weeks ago, and it right out in the snow come down on them. They love outdoor, even in the summer. It's beautiful outdoor, gorgeous.
Not in the cold.
Exactly. All right, awesome. Well, thanks, Adele, for your questions. Just any other lasting questions for Ms. Watson? And Ms. Watson, just as a sort of something that I want to mention, you should consider, and you should really seriously consider getting soundproofing for your business. It would go a long way with protecting you from noise complaints and whatnot from the community and from your neighbors. So I would recommend you doing that. Most of the businesses do that. So at some part, that's something that you want to consider doing as well.
Yeah, I think about it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So I don't see any other questions from or see anybody raise their hand from the committee. So I'm going to just mention we do have an incident report that we asked the 67 precinct to provide us with, and the incident report is just really a duration from usually from February when we were requesting it through February of last year to February of this year, whether or not there were any incidents at the location or anything at the address. So there were a couple. Just one thing. Actually, is one thing. There were 5 311 calls for loud music from 2/24. This is from February of 2024 through February of 2025. So there were 5 different 311 calls for loud music. So this speaks directly to soundproofing, right? So, Ms. Watson, if this is something that you want to consider, because, we've had your neighbors or someone has complained that,
Yeah.
the music was too loud. So if you had
Yeah, but
soundproofing.
you know what I would
Yeah.
love for you to do?
Yeah.
I would love for you to come down there when I have a party.
Yeah, I mean, we
I
have no
want you to
problem.
I want you to stand up outside. You will
We have no
never hear.
problem.
You
I
never
completely
you
understand.
never hear the sound. So
Yeah.
I can stand up outside, and
Yeah.
if I don't pull the door and go in, I don't hear nothing. I think I'm
Yeah.
soundproof. Come out there and listen. You'll
I
only
get.
see them. You'll
I-
only see them. You'll never hear a thing. They're
Yes, ma'am.
waiting.
I get what you're saying. I'm just reading out what was said
Mhm,
here,
mhm.
and
But I'm thinking about it.
yeah, you should think about it. You should think about it seriously. And I want to mention that I want to mention also that we do have Detective Skinner, Delano Skinner, who is from the 67 precinct, and he's specifically from the Community Affairs Department.
Mhm.
This is Detective Skinner. Are you on, sir?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Nice to have you here,
Yes.
sir. So I wanted to this is a good segue into, I was reading your incident report. Is there anything that you had sort of that you wanted to add to that, or was what I said enough?
Which well, I just logged on, so I don't know where, because the God Squad meeting is still going on. So I just ran down real quick to log on. Where are you with it?
So I'm in the we have Zaria. Zaria at Nostrand Avenue is one of the businesses here before us.
Yes.
She's the only one actually tonight. And I was just reading her the incident report from that you guys provided from us from February 2024 of last year till now. And I mentioned to her there were 5 311 calls for loud music. But this and by the way, the status is closed. So I was asking Detective Skinner if he wanted to provide anything else.
No, that's the only thing that we I saw in that. It was just on the 311 calls for that incident. No other stuff that took place at that location.
Okay. Great. Also, and
Hassan, can I ask a question?
Sure, absolutely, Marguerite, absolutely.
Thanks. Do you have dates? I just was wondering if there are 5 calls from one night or 5 different nights.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do it. It's not from one night. When I ran it, it's throughout the year. It's from different nights.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hassan, I don't know if you see my hand, but my hand has been up. That was one of my.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's up now. Yeah, I see it, George. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my questions. That was one of my questions, and the other one was those loud noise complaints when they were in the backyard, or were they inside?
That's a question for Detective Skinner. I don't know.
My question to the owner is, do they have music outside?
Oh, Miss Watson, do they have music outside?
No. Let me tell you, they're way to the back. You can't. No, they don't have the music outside. It's inside.
Oh, it's inside. Okay. Okay. I mean, I didn't. The incident report.
There have never been for the past 13 years that nobody call about noise at my place, nor police, nor sound problem. Nobody.
Well, you probably wouldn't have known about this because they just call into 311, right? So they make the complaint, and then you wouldn't know it specifically about it at all. So this is something I know is new.
Can I say something?
Sure, you can.
There was a hall across the street from me, and when they called, the police came. And the police said, somebody called because you guys have the noise, the sound system too loud. So please turn it down.
Gotcha.
And they will turn it down. But they have never called. Nobody have ever come to me.
Okay, gotcha. Understood. Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. I'm trying to see if there's any. Oh, sorry, Adele, you had a quick hand. Adele, I'll make you the last question. Okay, so go right ahead.
I can know means of egress in the fire code, any fire code violations.
Are you asking me or are you asking Miss Watson? Sorry, Adele.
What you said, Miss Adele?
Means of egress. How many entrances?
How many what? Amps?
Entrances.
Oh, I have one, two, three. I have three entrances.
Front door,
Three,
back door, side
three
door.
exit. I have one, two, three exit, all with exit light state approval.
Okay.
Mine was drawn. My business was really construct. My building was really construct over to an engineer, and we had another plan draw. I don't do monkey things. I try go to law, approve, was state certified. 2 bathroom. They tell me break it down and put have to break down a new bathroom and put it together in one big bathroom that is able to, if you have a wheelchair, it can go measure, and they have to pass that. So I have nothing illegal there.
Gotcha.
My exit lights are functioning, everything, fire alarm, everything.
Great. Well, thank you so much for
Everything.
that. Thank you very much. And I just wanted to, before we move on there, I just wanted to mention that Hazel Martinez has joined us. Sabine, Sabine, you were there earlier. I wanted to see Simone Sylvester. And I think I see Eduardo. Eduardo?
Yes.
Okay. And Oliver as well. Eduardo, are you part of? I just want to mention. I want to make sure you're part of the committee, or are you representing a business tonight?
I'm part of the committee.
Okay, great. And then Oliver.
Yes, Oliver is here.
Okay. Are you part of just the committee, or are you also representing a business? I'm sorry.
I'm part of the committee,
Okay, good.
but I have a business as well.
Okay, awesome. And then lastly, I think that's it. I think I got it. I just wanted to make sure that I covered everybody who's on the call as well. Okay. Okay, great. So with that being said, just wanted to move into our the next item on our agenda, which of course, this is before I do that though, actually, which we would be just making a having a vote with the committee members. I want to make sure and confirm that we do have quorum. Farah, do we have quorum at present?
Give me 1 second while I.
I kind of think we do, but I'm not really sure.
We made quorum by one person.
Okay, fantastic. All right, great. All right, so we can do two things. The first thing we can do is certainly take the vote for Zaria Nostrand Avenue. And Miss Norma Watson was kind enough to join our meeting this evening and go through the exercise of us questioning her. So we're looking to take a vote of either yay, right, making a recommendation for her to receive. And of course, I have to preface this by saying the committee only recommends. We're not the final decision makers. The SLA is the final decision makers, but there is a second step in the process, which is tomorrow night. You'll have to appear before the full board. But tonight we'll make the recommendation, or we decide on that recommendation this evening. So committee members, you guys know the drill. If you agree with the recommendation for her to get her renewal of her liquor license her renewal of her wine, beer, cider renewal license, please signify by saying yes. If you don't agree, say no. And if you abstain, just say abstain. All right. So can we just go down the list very quickly? And I'll start with, and just bear with me a little bit because I'm on my phone. So Oliver, is it a yes from you, sir? Or no, whichever. Oliver? Okay, I have to keep moving.
Hello, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, it is a yes. All right. Okay. Let me just move on. Sorry. And then we got Adele. What about you, Adele?
I'm abstaining because there is no soundproofing.
Okay.
That's a necessity.
Not a problem. All right, George.
Yes.
All right. And we have Marguerite. Marguerite Villante.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain also.
Okay. Hazel Martinez.
Yes.
Okay. Fatima. Fatima.
I'm sorry, I had to go from you. Yes.
All right. Vanetta. Vanetta.
Yes.
All righty. Okay.
Thank you.
Khadija. Khadija.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Savin.
Yes.
All right. We got Jean Gomes. Jean.
Yes. Yes.
All righty. All right. And hang on a minute. Did I miss? Oh, sorry. Tawa, just go ahead and unmute and give me your vote, please. Tawa. Maybe Tawa, if you're speaking, Tawa, we can't hear you. But I'll move over to Simone. Simone Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Did I get everybody? I'm not sure if I got everybody.
Miss Bellin is on the line.
Oh, Miss Bellin. Hey, how you doing? All right. Is it a yes or no for you, whichever?
I'm going to say yes, but I've been having trouble logging on ever since.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad you're here. Nice to hear your voice. Nice to hear your voice. Okay, great. It's a yes for me as well. Anyone else?
Tawa, yes.
Tawa, yes. Okay, Tawa. Thanks. All right. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Farah, did I miss anybody? I want to make sure.
I don't believe so.
I got everybody, right? I think I got everybody, right?
So give me one
wait,
second.
I think Neil Albrick. Sorry, I didn't get Neil.
I thought because I was new, I didn't get the vote yet, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I was wondering because I thought it was somebody I was missing. I think we covered everybody. Yes. No.
Did Mr. Tate vote?
He did.
Okay, great. Then I believe that's everybody.
Okay.
How about Mr. Cameron? Eduardo Cameron, did he vote?
I thought he did.
No,
I don't see him on here. He was on here earlier, but I don't see him on here now. Oh, wait a minute. He is
No,
here.
he's on. Yes.
This Mr. Eduardo. Oh boy, Mr. Eduardo, can you hear us, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Are you voting yes, no,
Yes,
or are you
yes.
abstaining?
Oh, I voted yes.
Okay, great. I couldn't hear you. Sorry about that. Apology. All right. So I think we got everybody. Yes? Farah, I think we got everybody, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 yes, and 2 no's.
I have 14 yes and 2 abstentions.
Yes, 2 abstentions. Nobody said no.
Yeah, I think we lost him again, but it's definitely 2 abstentions. No.
His mic is down. He's down.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, you
Now,
just
yes.
came back. You
Sorry.
came back.
Yeah, I, don't,
You
I think
came
I think
back.
this. I haven't really. That's why I can't stand WebEx, guys. So sorry. I was saying that Ms. Watson, and I appreciate our Commerce Committee voting. So we did vote in favor as a committee to recommend that you get your liquor license or your wine, beer, and cider renewal as well. And the vote was 14 yes and 2 abstentions. So I would recommend or would like you to appear before the community board meeting tomorrow at 395 Lenox Road at 7 p.m. And we will be able to and we'll go through this exercise. And of course, I will present you to the full board. And hopefully at that time, if they have any questions, they'll ask you pretty much some of the same questions we have, and they'll vote tomorrow night as well. So we will see you tomorrow evening at 395 Lenox Road. Okay?
Thank you very much. And thank you
Yes,
to all
ma'am.
the committee members. I love you guys. I hope to join you.
All right. Good. Great. All right. Well, you go ahead and we're going to continue our business. So I'll see you tomorrow evening.
Yeah, come around. Yep. I'll be there. Thanks. 319, 395 Lenox Road. It's right down there by downstate, right?
It's SUNY Downstate. SUNY Downstate,
Yeah.
395 Lennox Road. Yes, ma'am. All right.
I used to go to school there. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Thank you, Ms. Watson, for that.
And I thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys so much.
Yes, ma'am. No problem. No problem. And have a good night. All right.
Work together. Thanks a whole lot, guys. So see you tomorrow night.
Yes, absolutely. All right. And has anyone from Promise Lounge joined our call this evening? Okay, good. So that's a good thing. So in moving in, since we don't have, and I think some of the members I mentioned earlier that we would have, I think that the cannabis dispensary license appeared um, on our agenda inadvertently, so they came before the committee last month. So certainly they don't have to come before us. They'll have to attend our general board meeting tomorrow. So I just want to move a little forward in our agenda. I know we have unfinished business, but before I want to talk about that, there are two issues that we want to sort of talk a little bit about. I had a walkthrough with both Hazel Martinez and Sonia with the Clarendon Road corridor. We actually looked at some of the crazy stuff that's happening over there with the buses parking, the terrible sanitation conditions at times, the trucks that come in that I don't even know what you call those trucks that carry the cars, brand new cars from Mitsubishi and Volkswagen. So I was able to take pictures, and we were able to, look at some of the real issues that are over there. The whole idea is and we did that because we wanted to make sure that I could see what was happening. And we had cars, and Hazel, you can jump in anytime you want. We had cars that were parked, they were triple parked. So in other words, you had a car on the sidewalk, a car on the curb, and then another car double parked. So there were 3 cars triple parked. So there were times you couldn't even walk on the sidewalk in front of these places. It's absolutely crazy what was going on over there. So we're going to prepare, a letter for them to certainly help to address that issue. I'm glad that Detective Skinner is on the line as well from the 67th Precinct, and we'll send over some of the things that we encountered, Detective Skinner, so you guys will see what we saw. But we definitely need some help to solve these problems. It's a multi-pronged approach that we have to solve these problems. So it's going to take not just only the police department and sanitation and the Department of Transportation and all that. It all has to happen simultaneously because it's really out of control. I mean, I saw trailers that were people. I mean, even construction equipment, right, Hazel? Stop me if I'm missing anything. But I saw a construction. I saw something that actually gravels and breaks up the actual top part of the street, when they're really doing repaving, there was a full-on machine that was parked up on this thing that probably took over what 3 or 4 spaces, I would think. It's crazy over there. So yes, I'll stop there. I'll let Hazel jump in, and then we'll address some of the things that we talked about over there with Marguerite and the stuff with Double XL events. But yes, go ahead, Hazel.
I think what is needed is a meeting with all of these, with the various agencies and these businesses. There needs to, I mean, the meeting should be called at the board office or somewhere, because this is totally out of control, and the conditions under which residents are expected to live is not, they don't, the owners of these places, they don't live like that. They expect us to live. I don't think a letter they can ignore, but I think there has to be a meeting with in person with all of these people because of these businesses, because Volkswagen is out of control. They have they're even taking up the parking on our streets.
I saw that.
Even the cars have numbers in them, and they're in front of people's homes, and they stay there for weeks. And
I
there's
saw that.
no parking. And then people park in my driveway, but part of it is a result because there is people, all the parking spaces are taken up in front of your home, in front of the park. And I won't even go into all the other cars we have that have no plates and all of that. And sometimes they're there for a year.
Right. Exactly.
No one pays any attention to over here, really. And I think it really, there has to be a meeting. A letter isn't even enough. A letter should be inviting them to a meeting.
Right. And I completely listen. And that's one of the reasons why, because, and you guys and committee members, you guys know, Hazel's been talking about this not just like yesterday. She's been talking about this for years. This is a real ongoing problem that has been escalating steadily. And I had to make sure that I went to see firsthand. And when I tell you, she is not exaggerating. I mean, it's crazy over there. It's like a honestly, it's really a free for all. It is.
It is. We live in a free-for-all zone. Everybody does whatever they want to do, except the residents who have to tolerate the rest of it. And people, the things that people talk about doing, I think it's going to get to be a problem.
Yeah, I think having a meeting, additionally, having a letter sent to call them to a meeting, addressing some of the, basically will involve our Commerce Committee, but we need to pull in everybody who is certainly affected by this. And I would love to do it if we could find a meeting place where it's happening, like where you guys are. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be like outside the community. I would love for it to be like right around where you guys are. If we can figure out a meeting place.
Actually do it at Wyckoff.
Yeah, that's a fantastic recommendation. I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right. We could absolutely do it at Wyckoff. So I am open to that. So I can look into talking to Wyckoff about having the meeting there. Let's schedule in the subcommittee. We can schedule a date. We'll get that together. We'll reach out to all of the people involved and invite everybody to the meeting. So I am more than happy to do that. But Wyckoff is great because they have a brand new state-of-the-art facility, right? That many of you may not know, but it's really nice. I mean, it's great. So yeah, so I'll do that. So I will get on that first thing tomorrow. So Hazel, I'll ask, I'll include you guys in on that. And let's see if we can make this happen, because this is just out of control. We need to get this under control. Okay, great. Yes, I'm sorry. You were saying, who's that?
Adele.
Hey, Adele, what's up?
What I was going to say is, I had somebody go over there and took action against it. And when I was watching, the person from, I guess it's Mitsubishi Volkswagen, came down, wanted the person to stop issuance.
Stop what? I'm sorry?
They were issuing summonses.
Oh, right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Who was issuing summonses?
The traffic division. I made sure I sent somebody over there, made sure they wrote summonses.
Okay, gotcha. Yes. Okay.
Okay. The person to stop. And I interceded. I said, when it's on your property, no problem. When it's on city property and the residents are and inhibited by it, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, gotcha. No, I understand that. I understand.
Continue on. I told the person continue on, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
They ignored it because they were triple parked in a school. That's a school zone.
Right.
Parks they and a residence.
Right,
Can't do it.
absolutely.
Don't care.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. I gotcha. No problem. I appreciate you giving us an update on that too. All right. So we've got a plan of action that we're going to do because we need to solve this problem. There are too many problems that are outstanding in our communities and they're not being necessarily addressed at all. And that's a real issue as well. So thank you for the follow-up on that, Hazel, and let's get to work and see if we can get this thing together. All right. Now, the second thing I wanted to mention as well is talk to Marguerite. Marguerite Villante, she has her and her neighbors. For those who are on the committee, you guys have known about Double XL Event Space. It used to be, I forgot what the heck the name was before, but
Lotus Lounge.
Lotus
Lounge.
Lounge.
Right. And this location has been a problem for a while. And just as a recap, and particularly for the new members, there were a couple of shootings there. There's some double parking issues. There's all kinds of overcrowding, all kinds of problems in this location on Farragut Road that is directly across from a residential community, and it is making the quality of life dismal for those residents. So, I mean, it's just been crazy. I mean, and of course, the location has, been tasked with selling alcohol, and they don't have a liquor license. There's no liquor license on file at all, and they've been selling alcohol. I know that they were closed down as well, and they had a court date. One of the judges saw them, and they ended up, I think this happened, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marguerite, that during the court date and the time that they reopened with this brand new name, and perhaps you can fill in the blanks, but I just want to kind of mention that where we are in the process. And I had asked, and we would, and in the subcommittee, we talked about this in greater detail. Marguerite was kind enough to put together a letter highlighting a lot of the issues that are what's been happening over there for the duration of the time. And I took a look at it. I have to make some tweaks and whatnot, but we're putting together, Marguerite, we're going to put together this letter this week and get it out because this is an ongoing issue. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to be able to talk about that as well.
Okay. I sent a second draft. I don't know if I'm sure you got it, but I don't know if you realized that was a second draft.
Yeah,
I
did.
because the first one was kind of all over the place, and the second one was a little more concise, but it still needs to be tightened up. And two things. We have to include. There's another address for that property. Which is now I don't remember it. Oh, I don't remember it, but we need to add that in there because the building the hearing is for Bracci Holding, which owns the building. And there's two addresses associated with that building. And I've got 311 complaints for both addresses.
Okay,
So
we can add that.
I would like to compile. I think I might have sent you that. I don't know if I sent you those 311 complaints.
You sent me a listing.
I got them from Daniel in Farrah Lewis's office.
Yes, you did. You
so we
sent
need
it to
to
me.
put both of them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
so that
That's
so that should
absolutely
be
right. Yes,
added to
ma'am.
the letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so I will do that.
And
So
then,
yeah, that's good. Okay,
yeah,
that I didn't know that they
the
had
other
two
thing is,
addresses.
you know what, Hassan, you're breaking up, so I don't know when you're talking, and I feel like I'm talking over you.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the other thing is, I think that the letter, like we talked about who we were going to send the letter to, but is it possible that we could actually send the letter to the judge? Because the hearing is coming up in April. There's another hearing in April.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I think
yeah.
she's the one that probably needs the letter. Besides anybody else we might copy it to. I think it should be maybe just addressed to her. I don't know.
Yeah. And let me ask you, do you remember I mean, I can look at the letter real quick because but do you remember the judge's name?
Not, I don't have, yes, I have the information. I don't remember her first name. The last name is Cologne,
Okay.
and she's
Yeah.
like Part 80,
Right.
Brooklyn Supreme Court Part 80. So yeah, I have
Okay.
that information.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All
And
right. Yeah.
what else? I'm just trying to update. I don't think there's anything else to say except they're there every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday. We
Right.
are just, it's so uncomfortable. It's just so much stress.
Yeah.
It's like being tortured
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's constantly, we can't sleep. It goes on till 4 in the morning, and on Sundays it's all day until like
Yeah.
midnight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Absolutely.
it's just impossible. You can't think. You can't. My windows rattle, and I'm almost, I'm halfway up the block. I'm not even, my neighbors that are closer to it are
Hmm.
just like beside themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And you've been dealing with this for a while, and of course we
It's
have.
like 4 years,
Yeah.
or
And
maybe
and
more.
and and Detective Skinner is on the line as well. I'm glad he's on here so he could hear directly from what's happening with you guys. I know we've talked about it at our 67 precinct community council meeting, but Detective Skinner, I mean, is there anything that you have, any updates from the 67th that's happened since we last mentioned it last meeting and all of that?
The only updates I have is I know that the owner had gotten arrested 2 weeks ago. The owner and his son.
Didn't know that.
Apparently they went to go shut down the party and they arrested him. But the
Okay.
only issue is that again, even though he gets arrested, that doesn't mean that they're going to refrain from what they're doing. Right now it's in the hands of the judge because we compiled all the evidence that we had. We had I don't want to give too much of what we had, but we
Sure.
had like undercovers and stuff like that because
Sure.
go in
Yeah.
and thing and we even the shootings, we felt that we had more than enough evidence to get it shut down.
Yeah.
And the judge decided that once they refrain from selling alcohol, they can be open. But that's the reason why we knew they were still selling alcohol, because when when the club team went in, they saw people with their own alcohol. So they said, all right,
Wow.
you're not selling alcohol, but you still have people bringing alcohol in.
Right.
And they issued a summons to the owner at that point. But at the same time, it's something whereby to get it officially shut down, you got to get that judge to finally give the okay, so we can officially, like I said, we have all our evidence complied, and we really thought that that last shooting would have put the nail in the coffin, and unfortunately it didn't.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. My question is, Detective Skinner, the hearing, the building owner, Bracci LLC, is the one that's being sued, or whatever's going on with this hearing. So how is it actually even affecting the people that run the parties, or that who, like you said, somebody got arrested? Was it the owner of the building? No, it was the
owner of the club.
Right. So different things going on here, because they're
But
not
the reason why
the
the owner of the club is being held accountable, because remember, he's holding these parties there.
Right.
No, yeah, that's a good thing. But I'm saying that the hearing is not really about them, right? It's about the owner of the building. So it's,
Right.
so it's just like there's two different entities here, right?
Right. So to Marguerite's point, like that, I see exactly what you're saying. That what you're trying to do is hold the people who own the building liable for you renting to these guys who shouldn't be in business and doing all this crap, right? So the idea is that you have that's one piece, and then of course you have to hold the people who are holding the parties liable to some degree as well. So it's weird because it's a two-pronged process, or a two-pronged issue there that we're trying to address. But to Marguerite's point, I think in addition to our letter that we're going to send to the judge, I wanted to make sure that we solicited letters from our elected officials and anyone else to sort of be able to add additional weight to that. You know what I'm saying? Even though we'll CC all of them anyway, I'm going to request that the elected officials send a letter, so in support of us getting those guys out of there, and all of that goes to the judge. I mean, that's how I look at it as well. That will add additional weight to getting those guys and certainly put a lot more pressure on the judge who has to make the decision in April. Does that make sense?
Because we used to
The
also
other
have that
thing is
March
that what about
operation where we had all the other agencies involved, and the city said no, we can't use that anymore. So that was a tool that we had, like for example, the fire department, the buildings department,
Yeah,
NYPD,
exactly.
FLA,
Yeah.
and they did away with that.
Right.
So
I don't even understand that. Like there's a swimming pool in there, right? So how could there not be an
I find that
inspection on
incredible.
that building
It's
when there's a
incredible.
public what?
I find it incredible they have a pool in there. That's
Yeah,
crazy to me.
and
Yeah.
an agency can't go in and inspect that? I don't really get it.
The fire department can go in there on its own, but the
Yeah.
community.
Say that again, Adele. We couldn't hear you.
The fire department can go in if the community files a complaint. Member of the community board members, or residents.
Oh, you're saying that the fire department could go in and inspect the place on their own separately as an agency to see if they are complying. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but how do we get the fire department to do that?
Well, we have
could file a complaint.
Right.
Residents.
Right, and then we have I believe it is Chief Roche who's the representative for Brooklyn. I know I have his information. We could actually reach out to him and Marguerite and the subcommittee. We can talk about this. We can put a ping and email to him as well, outlining the issue. I think that would go a long way as well, because we have to use all the tools in our arsenal, right, to make sure that we apply pressure to the situation so these things can be solved. And how you do that through the agency, obviously, but you also do it through elected officials and the community letter. And I think all of it has a lot to do with applying pressure for the judge who has to make the ultimate decision on this. So I'm open to doing it. I'm just making a note of that, so we'll include that as well.
Hassan, if you contact any representative, they'll tell you, yes, they do building inspections. That's their job.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay.
Cannot do it.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Detective Skinner, that you have to just an update or anything? You're good. That was pretty much it.
No, the what I wanted to say to touch upon with the Clarendon Road corridor. I think that is a good idea to have a multi-agency meeting, because it does fall on more agencies than one. I think sanitation, DOT, and traffic, and a couple other agencies need to get involved as well. So I do agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So either you or I mean, if the inspector is available, I would love for her to attend as well. But if certainly if she can't, then somebody from the 67.
No, somebody will definitely represent. If she can't, one of the captains will. It's definitely something that I think I think it's long due, because I mean, I know we normally, so to speak, get the brunt of, hearing it, but there's a lot of different agencies there as far as like sanitation that needs to get involved, DOT, so I totally agree. And I think also too, maybe you guys need to get somebody from the Better Business Bureau. I don't know if they call them that anymore, but it's the compliance unit that if businesses are out of compliance, they're supposed to come out and do inspections. I think that's something that should be, also as well.
Yep. I agree completely. And then Hazel, just as an FYI, keep this in your thing as well. So we'll have the meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to do it at Wyckoff. At that point, what we can do is that we would certainly invite them on a quick walkthrough. Doesn't have to be anything big, but on the areas so they can see it in real time. You know what I mean? And they can see exactly what we're talking about. So we're not talking about abstractly, because I can guarantee you those situations will still be present in that area. You know what I mean? So I think it would go a long way. Let's say we hold a meeting for an hour or so. We'll do a 15, 20 minute, or however long it takes us, so half an hour walkthrough of the trouble spots of the areas that we have. And then I think that'll go a long way as well. So I'll mention that. We'll say we'll have the meeting, and then we'll follow by a walkthrough. Yeah, that makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, awesome. Great. All right, great. I just want to, okay, well, so we got a plan of action, good people, for both issues, which have been long-standing issues in the community. So we are working towards trying to solve them. This is what we do, in addition to all the other things we do. But I want to thank both Hazel and Marguerite for really working through this situation. It's not easy when you are being bombarded with these issues on a daily basis, and it's a daily basis. I could tell you some real stuff, and it's we have to be sensitive as neighbors, but we also have to be empathetic when as Commerce Committee members when you guys come to me, you know, I have to make sure that I put myself in your position. If I was living over here, how would this affect me? And how, you know what I mean? So it's really important to make sure that we do that. I know some of the community members, you guys haven't seen the location, but believe me when I tell you, I went over and it's not good. It's really, really bad.
And it was not always like this.
It wasn't. Yeah,
It is
it
since
wasn't.
these businesses have arrived.
Yeah, it's not, and it's all compliance and people being out of compliant, and you know, it's just when you flaunt the rules, right, and you do a little bit here, a little bit more, and before you know it, you're doing all this stuff, but it affects the quality of life to residents, and we just can't have that. We have to make sure that we're diligent as a committee to support our community residents as well. Businesses have to be
Can
good
I ask
neighbors.
you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Of
sorry,
course.
my hand was up, but I don't think you see
I
it.
can't see it. I'm sorry, Marguerite.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just wondering what you're gonna do for the space over there, the businesses, you know, they're out of compliance and all this, you're gonna get all the agencies and why can't we do something like that also for this place?
I mean, we can,
it's a business. It's a business, right?
We absolutely can.
They're out of compliance.
Yeah, we can. I've never, like I told you, remember when we talked about this in our subcommittee meeting, I said that we should get together with your community residents. Remember we talked about this? And we should get Councilmember Lewis and invite all our elected officials at a meeting around where you guys are at. We can hold, it doesn't, I don't even know what we want to do. We did mention that, we did talk about that. But what we thought, we were trying to do it in a way where we needed to get the letter out first, and then we'll have the meeting. Remember we said that?
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure we got that.
Well,
We did talk about
I
that.
know, but it's always kind of ethereal. We didn't really pin it down. So,
well,
okay, so we're gonna get the letter out first, and then we can do something like that.
Yeah, we absolutely can. Absolutely. That is part of the process. I agree with you. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, and I think Tawa had
I wanted to suggest the same thing for your, but maybe we could do it at the board office, and we send notices out some of your residents on your block. This way they know to come to that meeting.
Yep, we could do that. That's a perfect recommendation. We could absolutely do that. Absolutely.
I didn't hear what she said.
She said we could hold the meeting at the board office, at the community board office.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a location, because it's in and around where we are, you know, and we can do the same thing. We can do the same thing where once we do the meeting, right, we can invite them for a quick walkthrough. I mean, it's not that far, you know, from the board office to the location on Farragut Road, right? So.
Right, and we should do it. We should do it at 3 o'clock in the morning, Friday.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many people will get then, but yeah, I know what you mean.
You can video. Somebody can video it, and we can show it to members.
Yeah, yeah, I would love for that. I would love to make sure that happens, but I don't think that's going to happen at 3 o'clock in the morning. But let's see. We'll pick the date and we'll get it together. All right. I saw Tawa. Tawa, you had your hand up as well. Oh, Khadija also as well. Sorry, guys, I couldn't see it.
My question was answered. Thank you.
Okay, and Khadija, how about you?
I understand that you guys want to do the walkthrough with all these agencies, but I do think that we need to pay attention to the political climate of what's going on and having all of these higher ups walking down the block and what type of fit it can bring to those partners, to the businesses that do have employees that are working there. So it's just mindful of that.
Yeah, I got you. That's a good point. She brings up a good point. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Khadija. I appreciate that. That is true. Okay, great. So I think we guys we have spent a lot of time on this, but I want to thank, like I said, all of the input that we have from everybody, Detective Skinner, Marguerite, Hazel. Thank you guys for sort of outlining that. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about it tonight. And we have talked about it in our subcommittee meeting. And subcommittee members, I will be sending you an email shortly. So we'll be getting together. We'll get a date and a time together because there are a number of things that we have to do. But these two things, we want to make sure that we highlight them as well. That's what all the other work gets done too. Okay, so I'm going to move on in our agenda. Is there any unfinished business? Any unfinished business? Khadija, you got your hand up? No? Okay, that must be from before. All right, hearing none, I think we are at the end of our agenda. So I would love to, unless anybody has any other things to talk about before we adjourn our meeting.
Minutes.
Yes, who's that?
The minutes.
Oh,
The
yes,
minutes.
I apologize. Right, because yes, thank you, George. Thank you so much, George. I appreciate that. Because we did not have quorum earlier, guys. Now we put the minutes, the approval of the minutes, as a last item. So thank you for that. I completely forgot. So we do have quorum as far as I know, and would like to. So first of all, there are two questions which I always ask. Members, committee members, have you received the minutes from January 2025 from our meeting for our last month?
Yes.
Okay. Has everybody read it? That's also key. Okay. So I'm assuming sounds like everybody read it. So can we get can someone make a motion to approve our minutes, please?
Hassan, I have some corrections to the minutes.
You do? Okay. Go for it, George. Sorry, go for it.
Okay, under the chairperson report.
Yes, sir.
Lily's restaurant is misspelled. It's Lilli.
Yes,
instead of
that's right.
Lilys.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, sir. Thank you for that.
On approval of the meetings, Khadija they need to remove one H from her name.
Okay.
And under there were things. Oh, okay. Going down to the new business under the licenses is flavors. Taste the flavors, not instead of a Y. Yeah. So.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Okay. Well, great. And thank you, George, for that. I appreciate your putting all of that and making sure that we get everything is in its proper grammar.
Sorry.
Yes.
One more thing. Also, because under your report, it says that Lotus Lounge liquor license was removed, but they never had a liquor license.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right. They never had a liquor license, right? So you're saying, right? That's exactly right. Yes.
That needs to be corrected because it's not that they removed the liquor license; they never had one.
They never had one. Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely. Great. So, Farah, do you have all of those corrections?
Yes, I have them written down.
Okay, fantastic. So can I ask someone to certainly accept the meeting minutes as stated with the corrections by our esteemed committee member, George? Anyone?
I make a motion. George did make a motion to accept the minutes with all the corrections.
Right, for January 2025, right?
Right.
All right, good.
I second the motion.
All right,
Marguerite.
Thank you, Marguerite. Thank you, George. I appreciate that and appreciate you taking the time to read the minutes. That's what I like to see, people reading the minutes. Okay, great. So I think before I ask for an adjournment, I just wanted to mention one thing, and one thing that I didn't mention in my chairperson's report. I attended a workshop that was put on by Senator Sanders, who is the chair for the banking committee, and he had it was a two-pronged workshop. It was talking about banks, but it mostly focused on NWBEs, and it was also a partnership between him and Assembly Member Rodney's Bashat Hermelin. And what they talked about in this meeting, and they also had the controller, the New York City controller, Brad Lander, who was there, and quite a number of other folks who were on the panel who are in the NWBE space. But we talked about the disparity with the disparity. Oh, sorry, the disparity of the disparity. So in other words, NWBEs were set up to address the disparity in government contracts with minority-owned businesses, right? So that's why it was set up, and it was set up by David Dinkins years ago. But within that, they were also talking about, despite the fact that it was set up that way, there was an additional disparity that most of the government contracts, whether they are on the city level or even on the state level, were not going to the intended population that it was designed to. It was still going to those folks who would not be considered minorities, which I thought, and high numbers. I mean, we're talking about 62%, where most of those disparities, at that level, and the smaller segments of the contracts were given to minority-owned businesses. But the problem is that it was given to them simply because they could not handle the demand. Because the way that the city and state does it, they have contracts that you bid for, and sometimes those contracts are huge. So if you were a small business, let's say you've got 2 or 3 people on your staff and you're a construction company, but you're bidding, you can't bid on a construction, construction event that you can do all the electrical, and because you have to do it between a finite period. It's literally a contract with the city, and if you don't have the staff in order to do that, that becomes an issue. So that was one piece, okay? And the other piece is there wasn't any smaller contracts that were going to from the city or the state that could go to those smaller firms that could handle that work, okay? And that's something that both the city and state are addressing. I know that Rodney's has, I should say, Assembly Member Rodney's Bashat Hermelin, her NWBE, they actually put into law where they're looking to lower the amount of contracts that can go to smaller businesses that can handle government contracts. Okay, and that's to address those issues. So I just wanted to mention that. I thought it was an amazing event. I'll send you over the disparity report that was given to actually produced by the New York City Controller, Brad Lander. So you guys can look at the numbers and see what I was talking about. I mentioned it in the meeting because it is an ongoing issue. Even when we look at the project that's at the Shirley Chisholm Recreational Center, most of the work that is the most that would be generating the most revenue is not going to, unfortunately, the smaller, the minority-owned companies. I mean, although they are there, the largest share of the work, and I'll tell you what the largest share of the work is on, and things that they're expensive that these businesses make the money on, is the electrical work, the HVAC work, the plumbing work. Those are the things that we're talking about. So just to kind of give you an idea, what's been happening is that they've gotten, the drywall stuff, the shading, stuff like that. Those are things that have been giving out to the minority-owned companies. But the larger things that have been said are happening with larger companies that can handle that work. So I just wanted to mention that. But I didn't want to. I'm sorry I went over a little bit with that, but I kind of wanted to. I wanted to preface that by saying this is a real issue, and despite that, there's been a lot of advancement with NWBEs. There's still so much more work to be done. I can tell you right now in East Flatbush that there's a very small number. I don't even think we have a 0.1% where minority-owned businesses that are certified to be certified at all to be NWBE. So we're working on that. but we'll see how that works out. But I just wanted to mention that to you guys, and I'll send you guys a report. You can look at it whenever you want. All right. So with that being said, I just wanted to not keep you guys any longer. Can I ask for an adjournment for our meeting? Can I ask someone to make a motion to adjourn our meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting, Marguerite.
Okay, any second? Sorry, who was that again?
Adele.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Adele. And thank you, Commerce Committee members. Thank you so much for going through our meeting tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm glad it wasn't a 2-hour meeting, so awesome. And thank the 67 Precinct and certainly Detective Skinner for joining our call tonight. I really appreciate that. And hopefully see you guys from now every month. I know sometimes it's difficult, but you know, if you can join, that would be great because you guys always provide some background and color. Even tonight, I didn't know that the business owner was arrested, and I'm sure Marguerite didn't know that either. So, you know, but I'm glad. I appreciate you guys doing that. So I'll let you guys go. Have a wonderful, you know, rest of the week, and I'll see you guys. Some of you guys next month, committee members. Some of y'all, I'll see you tomorrow. But I will see you guys next month, and then certainly the subcommittee will get together very soon to have our meeting. Okay. But I will talk to you guys soon. And everybody have a wonderful night, okay?
Yeah, okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Check your email.